Hey guys, and welcome to another video. So for today's video, I have a new rune setup that I've been trying and I wanted to show you guys, and it's based on Hail of Blades. And the point of this rune setup is pretty much to make use of Camille's really strong early game, because we all know, Camille is pretty good levels 1 to 5, and then after level 6 he drops off a cliff. So by using Hail of Blades, the plan is kind of to take advantage of that and really get a lead early on that can push you into the further levels. So for this first game, I'm into Sion, and the rune page should be somewhere on the screen right now. And my objective is really just going to be as aggressive as I can early on. So you're going to see here that I W him and immediately look for my 3 autos, and then I wait. And pretty much the entire plan is that whenever Hail of Blades is up, you look for some sort of trade. So you see me kiting him there. And then only when my W comes up again, I'm going to W him and then look for 3 autos again. Then immediately my E comes up, I'm going to go in again to be more aggressive. And you see how much pressure I'm putting on him. I'm not letting him breathe for a second. That's pretty much the objective of this. And finally, one more E into him, 3 autos, and a W ignites to finish it off. So you guys see how easy that was? I mean, it's almost brain dead, to be completely honest. Now, of course, Sion isn't the greatest champ level 1, but that's kind of the point, is that Camille is a much better champ than him early game. So we're just going to do the basic game plan, clear the wave, back, and come back to lane. So now we're back in lane, but even though I'm still being aggressive in the early game, I'm not gonna push it too hard when the minions are against me. This rune setup is highly burst oriented, so you don't want to be taking long fights if you can avoid it. You really want very short trades. You get all of your Hail of Blades off, and then you back up. So the instant here that Sion uses his Q in a bad way, I am on him again. And you see I get a very good trade out of it. So now if he stays on next rotation, he dies. And he has stayed, so immediately my abilities are back up. I'm going to go back in. Now I think I should have E'd to the wall at the top. If I had, I would have definitely gotten the kill, but it's fine. I still force him out of lane. He's already used his TP, so I can just clear this wave and head back to get an item advantage and get my health back up and mana. So now we're a bit further on in the lane. I mean, at this point, it kind of just becomes similar to any other rune page, because now we're past 6. He has quite a lot of resistances. He has his boots, and so I'm doing less damage to him. It's still really good for burst, and into somebody that was not as tanky as somebody like a Sion. If I was into a ranged champion or some of the lower armored champions, it would still be really, really good. But because it's a Sion, it's just a bit less good past like 6, or past him getting any armor item of any sort. But it's still really, really good in short trades, and you can see the kind of effect it's having on him. Unfortunately there, I didn't get my Q2. I thought that it would land, and I messed it up. But I will rectify that very shortly. So, I mean, that's pretty much it for this laning phase. The laning phase is pretty much over now at this point. I have my lead, and now my only objective is to get to Triforce. Once I do that, I easily win. If you're wondering why I didn't back in that bush, it's because I'm pretty sure the mid laner is missing, and I'm not sure where he is, so I wanted to trick him with a bit of vision play. And as you can see, he comes out at the very last moment, so I'm very lucky on that. Yeah, Zed messed that up pretty bad. He should never enter range for my ults there. That was really bad on his part. So now we're later in the game and I have 2 items, and you can kind of see that even though I have a burst oriented rune, because I got that lead early on using Halo Blades, I'm able to fight him. I really don't care, you know, taking a long fight anymore, because I'm just so far ahead of him that it really just doesn't matter what he tries to do versus me. And that's the entire point of this, is just to put yourself ahead so that you skill, you know, you can get your items faster and you can skill much quicker. So that was a pretty easy game. Let's move on to the next one. So I'm into Gwen this game, and you're going to see immediately from the get-go, I'm going to be aggressive with my Halo Blades. You see how much damage I did? That's half her health gone instantly. But even though I do a lot of damage with Halo Blades, I'm still very cautious, as Gwen does win in the long trades with the Conqueror. You see here she gets level 2 first. But because of Halo Blades, I'm able to still burst really hard and come out of the trade pretty evenly. This causes Gwen to feel pressured because she realizes if she stays in lane, she'll probably die to my Halo Blades burst. So she wants to back and TP so she can restore her health. I'm trying to stop her because I want to keep her in lane as long as possible, because it would give me a chance to kill her before first base. So at this point, I realize she's backed anyway, and I decide to back myself because staying in lane while she comes back with TP would put me in a bad position. So again, I'm gonna go in here. I'm looking for opportunities to go in before she gets her stacks. Unfortunately, she's not giving any opportunities to me, which is the right thing to do. And so I just slow push this wave, which is what Camille normally does, so that she has no chance of fighting me. And then I'll look for trades either while she's under a tower or when she thins out the wave a bit and it's slightly outside of her tower. Of course, while I'm here, Zahen comes thinking that he can gank me, so I show him what it means to be Halo Blades Camille. Now, of course, Zahen was 2 levels down, but I don't think he was expecting the kind of burst that he saw just now. I I have to remind you that Camille matchups still remain the same, even if you're going this rune. So I still don't want to take long fights into somebody like Gwen. I only took it here because I knew I was 2 levels up on her and I had finished my item. And even then, I still came very close to dying. My team completely stomped the enemy team, so this was a pretty quick game. So I'll just let you guys watch the rest of this. So for this final game, I'm into Gangplank, and I think he's probably one of the champions that is best to take this rune into, as he's really squishy, but he has high damage. So here, I'm just going to be kiting out his barrels. I'm trying to see what he does with them before I choose an ability. The instant I see that he uses all of his barrels at once, I immediately E in and look to take a longer trade with my Halo Blades. So now I'm pushing for 2, and the instant I get it, I'll look for another trade onto him as quickly as I can. Like I said, you have to be really aggressive, levels 1 to 3. That's your main objective. I can see I get him really, really low here. So if he stays, it's an easy dive. I'm just going to say it again. Notice every time my Halo Blades comes up, I immediately go in. I look for an opportunity, anything, an ability, usage, anything for me to be able to go in. So I had tried to ult there, but I didn't realize I didn't have enough mana for it. Otherwise, I would have immediately just used my Q and looked for the kill with my flash. Luckily, my Zac is here, so he cleans it up for me. Again, I'll show you another example where you have to be careful with taking long trades with this setup. Because if they have consistent damage of any sort, like somebody like Gangplank who can reset his passive multiple times, you're gonna take a lot of damage. You're not as tanky as with some of the others, and your damage does fall off slightly after the initial burst. All right, guys. So we're approaching the end of the game pretty quick here, and hopefully you guys have kind of seen the benefits of Halo Blades Camille in the top lane. I think it has its main use is just against squishies or ranged champions, just to get that early lead so that you can scale much faster into the late game. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys can use it as well in some of your games and climb some divisions, and I will see you guys in the next one.